We welcome you to downtown Pittsburgh, one of the best sights in USL Championship. Along the Three Rivers, it's Highmark Stadium, where the defending Eastern Conference champion Rhode Island FC looks to get their season back on track against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Alongside former Manchester United keeper Gary Bailey, I'm Josh Appel. Thanks so much for joining us. Pittsburgh Riverhounds in USL regular season play have never conceded a goal to Rhode Island FC. Maybe that changes tonight. And if it does, Rhode Island, who right now is below the cut line, could jump back in to the top 8.
It's amazing how close it is. Just 6 points separating Rhode Island in 10th and Pittsburgh in 5th. Hartford are on a bit of a tear at the moment, so it's
and we've got a legendary keeper with us on the broadcast, so let's talk some goalkeeping. It's the defending goalkeeper of the year, Golden Glove winner in USL Championship, Eric Dick.
wonderful keeper, great hands, very, very good in the air. Tied first for clean sheets with 7, and he is the mainstay at the back there for a fantastic defensive record that Pittsburgh have. They remind this man hugely.
Eric Dick tied for first in the league in clean sheets, top 10 in saves as well. On the other side for Rhode Island, it's a familiar face to Pittsburgh Riverhounds fans. The former Riverhound who won the Golden Boot and the MVP in 2023 leads Rhode Island in assists this year, Albert Dequa.
Just 2 goals, though,
in a row for Pittsburgh heading into tonight's game, but they went unbeaten across all competitions in the month of July. They've only lost 1 time at Highmark Stadium this season. We'll try and keep that going tonight. We'll have lineups and we'll have kick from Highmark Stadium coming up after this.
At AHN, good heart care starts before you're just not feeling right. Before you say, it'll go away on its own. Before it doesn't. Because before an emergency, there's time to stop heart problems with a simple preventative heart check. At AHN, we see you.
That is some energy tonight in Highmark Stadium here in Pittsburgh. Rhode Island FC and Pittsburgh Riverhounds getting you set for kick tonight. Josh Appel and former Manchester United keeper Gary Bailey with you. It's time for tonight's starting 11s, brought to you by IC Light, brewed for victory. Let's start with Bob Lilly and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
2 changes from the side that drew midweek at home to Miami. In comes Burton Jackerson, got 2 goals against Portland. Williams.
All just scored the equalizer on Tuesday, last kick of the game against Miami FC to salvage the point. Now, Cano Smith and Rhode Island, Gary. This team has the talent on paper, as you see, but just haven't been able to get it going.
Eastern champions they are, and they've also made 2 changes from their last outing, which was against Hartford. Maxi Rodriguez and Albert Deco, who we mentioned in the opening, they start. Frank Nadase not available, Clay Holstead on the bench. It could be a 4-4-2. They might play 3 at the back and have Quizera and Fuson as the wing-backs, but of course all eyes on Deco and Williams up front. What a combination those two could be.
Good goalkeeping matchup as well. Few former Riverhounds on this Rhode Island roster. Bobby Lee talked to us about that this week, including their captain, Mark Ibarra, who spent a couple of seasons as a Hound. There's Eric Dick, the defending goalkeeper of the year, Golden Glove Award winner. And Gary, this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side has fared very well against Rhode Island. We mentioned it in the open, but in 3 regular season games, 4 matches overall, just 1 goal scored for Rhode Island. How taxing must that be mentally for them?
Well, having said that, Rhode Island did beat them 1-0 in the Jaeger Cup, so I guess they'll look at that. They'll look at the fact that they are the reigning Eastern champions, Connor Smith. But you're right, he's got to turn the team around somehow. I mean, they're below the sort of cut-off line for the playoff. They've got so much talent. Maxi Rodriguez, when they brought him in at the start of the season, we thought, wow, that'll make them even stronger. They've got to get going, and as Bob Lilly said, for both teams, a sense of urgency now as the end of the season starts to loom and points become really valuable.
Bob Lilly's side bounced back after a very tough April and May with a sparkling June and July. And they are comfortably in a playoff spot now, but of course, with everybody so bunched together, you don't want. And we're underway from Highmark Stadium on the banks of the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. So glad you could be with us tonight. Josh Appel and Gary Bailey with you. Pittsburgh in the black and yellow, Rhode Island in the white. Quick chance, denied by Jackson Lee, so not afraid to take a shot on goal. That was Bertan Jacqueson, who scored a brace against Portland last weekend in Jägermeister Cup play.
He didn't waste any time. We'll be 10-15 seconds into the game, and there wasn't a bad strike either on target, straight at Jackson Lee, but a decent connection there by Jacqueson.
I'd love to get him going in league play. Became somewhat of a fan favorite last year, and this year no goals in USL Championship league play, but does have 3 in Jägermeister Cup play. Two 1-0 games these two teams played across 2 weeks at the end of May. A win in league play for Pittsburgh, a win in Jägermeister Cup play for Rhode Island.
And 2 of the best defenses in the league. Well, Pittsburgh is the best defense, in fact, in the whole of the USL. Just 15 conceded in 17 games. Rhode Island, 4th best defense in the East with just 18 in 17 games. So excellently organized teams. Both of them will probably say that scoring goals is what has been their main issue, and certainly for Pittsburgh, getting Augie Williams involved has been a bit of a challenge for Bob Lilly and the rest of the squad. I said the same could be said for getting Albert Deco goals for Rhode Island. So plenty of talent on both teams, just not able to quite get into goal-scoring gear at the moment.
Part of Rhode Island's issue, of course, has been the injury bug, and they're slowly but surely getting guys back. JJ Williams, of course, Hugo Bacharach back as well. Still missing a few pieces, but you can see our AHN injury report. No Darcy out for Rhode Island, O'Toole out for the year, Osumanu for Pittsburgh due back in 2, maybe 3 weeks, according to Bob Lilly. But you know, for Cano Smith, there's still plenty of time. They're not too far back out of 8th place, but you don't want to sit below the cut line for too long. You want to get going at some point, and their hope, of course, is that getting healthier, they'll look more like the team that was 3rd best in the league last year behind Louisville City and Charleston in scoring back in 2024.
Yeah, such a talented team, and did so well last season. As you say, finishing 3rd, then going on to win the East and go to the final, which was an incredible achievement. Maybe just a little bit of a hangover from that, and thinking, well, That was an easy first year. I'm sure Connor Smith would not have been thinking like that, but you never know how the players might have taken it. He's a hard taskmaster, and he'll demand that they pick up and improve, because it's way below where they should be given the talent they have in their side. Look at up front, JJ Williams, Dikwa out wide, Fuson, Maxi Rodriguez, Mark Ibarra. I mean, wow, that's some of the best players in the entire USL.
Zach Harivo's been out as well. He's another key piece for them up top. Long over the top in the direction of Augie Williams. Gary just pointed out, Bob Lilly has been trying to figure out a way to unlock Augie Williams this season. He went 13 games without scoring after the season opener. Last scored on the 13th in the 2-2 draw right here against Loudoun United. Biasi. This is Jacqueson. Williams stepped up, and a whiff foul from.
Just asking the question why it was given.
Let's get our keys to tonight's game. Building a win, presented by 84 Lumber.
Well, for Pittsburgh, getting service to Augie Williams, who mentioned it, and Bob Lilly said we need him in the box. That's where his expertise are. We have to provide service for him, and he has to find himself space in the box. For Rhode Island, Connor Smith saying it's a collective challenge. We have the possession. We're not creating enough chances. And he said it's not just on the strikers. It's on every single player in the team. He says, and collectively, we have to create more in the box.
Charles All stands over this for the free kick, earning a spot in the starting 11 after his first career goal at the death on Tuesday night here at Highmark Stadium against Miami FC. He puts this towards goal. It's over everybody, including Hugo Bacharach, who went up to get it, and it's a goal kick for Jackson Lee. But I found it so interesting when Bob Lilly was talking about Augie Williams. They've really been trying to figure out how they can get him going. We'll hold that thought for a moment as Fuson battles for Rhode Island. A little back heel flip, but it never got through. Good job by Danny Griffin, the Pittsburgh captain, stepping in the way of that and momentarily getting the clear. It's Fuson on it again. Bacharach for Rhode Island. Amos Shapiro-Thompson, he scored his first goal recently as well in the Jägermeister Cup draw with Hartford. How about the last two matches for Rhode Island, Gary, and the emotion that came in those two El Clamico matchups, as this one is sent towards goal and cleared away by Suber.
Fantastic games, both of them, especially the Jaeger Cup, the last one, the 2-2 draw. And just wonderful to watch it, to see some of the goals, the penalty, Maxi Rodriguez. Just thought he'd won the game for the home side, Rhode Island, only for Dispay to get the equalizer in the 83rd minute. And you get the sense that Rhode Island are beginning to find some form, as are Hartford. A lot of people saying keep an eye on this team. They might be second bottom, but the run they're on, some of the results they've got recently, could see them back in the top 8.
4-0 over New Mexico United earlier this week. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's a lot of people just keeping an eye on them now, saying they've turned the corner. And they really have some wonderful players. Lovely manager who's top class.
Brendan Burke.
Yeah, and he's had success at Colorado Springs as well. So you felt it was going to turn one day, and maybe it has for Hartford.
Dikwa trying to keep it in play. He does, and it's flicked over the touchline for a throw to Rhode Island. I do want to talk Augie Williams, so I'll put a pin in that thought for a moment. I know we started that conversation that Rhode Island started to put a little pressure on. What a run it was last year for Rhode Island. And of course, everybody thought with the regular seasons that Lou City and Charleston had, that it would be those two battling for a spot in the championship final. Looked like it went over the end line. It stays in though. Trickles towards goal and then cleared away. A shot at them from Jojea Quizera, who scored the game-winning goal in that Jägermeister Cup match, the 1-0 win on May 31st.
Yeah, good pressure there coming from the visiting side. Nice ball put across the box, asking questions. Couldn't get anybody on the end of it, either JJ Williams or Dikwa, but it certainly put some pressure on that Pittsburgh Riverhounds defense. Interesting for Rhode Island. They are so much better away from home than they are at home. I think it's 6 of their 8 wins have come on the road. I mean, that asks some questions. As clearly they're good enough, Maybe they prefer to be against the pressure, away from home, less expectations, but
they've scored 14 goals on the, or excuse me, they scored 14 goals total in league play this season. 10 have been on the road, just 4 in 8 home games this season. And Pittsburgh's been, of course, stingy defensively everywhere, but they've only conceded 6 times in their 8 regular season home games in championship play.
Or maybe just Rhode Island getting used to their new stadium and getting some sense of being at home. But again, when you can play that well away from home, it shows you have quality. It's just making it a bit more consistent. That's what Connor Smith will be asking for.
And again, they've never beaten or scored a goal in the regular season against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. This is Mark Ibarra. Last week had an assist. It was his first of the season in any competition. His 6th start, and 5 of them have come on the road. That looked like it might have glanced off of Charles All. I think Rhode Island maybe thought so, but it's out for a goal kick, and Eric Dick gets it started for Pittsburgh.
There's a few players there, J.J. Williams, Maxi Rodriguez, all putting their arms up saying, well, what was that? That wasn't what we were expecting. So perhaps a miscommunication there between Mark Ibarra and the rest of his team, or maybe he just thought he was playing for Pittsburgh Riverhounds, turning back the clock a few years.
It's given away here, Quizera, and then it's handed right back. Aaron Barnes. Now Pittsburgh have possession. That's kind of been the issue with Rhode Island as a whole this year. If you zoom out a bit, a lot of talented players that just haven't been able to get on the same page for whatever reason this year. As this one is a cross towards goal. Augie Williams in the vicinity, but it's chased down by Shapiro Thompson, and then coming up for support, forcing up the throw. But let's get to Augie Williams here. We just saw him make a run towards goal. That's more of what Bob Lilly wants to see. He wants to see, they want to get Augie Williams in behind, get him busier with his runs. Sometimes Augie, just his play style slows down the Pittsburgh attack a bit, and maybe that's why they've had some trouble really gelling this year.
Could be, but certainly he is their best striker.
No doubt.
That's why they want him in the box. You want to put players where they are at their best. But he needs service when he gets there, and they've tried Danny Griffin up front next to him, or say up front just behind him, playing in a sort of a 10 or an 8 role. Robbie Mertz has been up there. Bob Lilly's been trying to find some way of getting creative to supply him with the ball. Today he tries Charles All and Burton Jacobson, 2 players who, as we've said, have scored in recent games. So he's looking for a bit more creativity, dropping Danny Griffin more into a defensive midfield role. But in fairness to Bob Lilly, he loses so many good players every year. Every year, whatever player he's got is doing well, just seems to get taken away. And then
been the head coach here for a while. 7 straight playoff appearances. They have never missed Pittsburgh Riverhounds under Bob Lilly. It does not matter who is here, as you pointed out. They always seem to find their way in and be a pesky out come the postseason.
It's brilliant. In fact, there's a 3rd player, ex-Pittsburgh, in the Rhode Island squad, and that's Danny Rivera. And so, you know, they've come along, started, gone and picked 3 of the players. You'll see players all over the USL that have played here at high mark. And I think, to be fair, Bob Lilly probably is able, more than any other coach in the USL, take players who are college players or fringe players and make them into good ones.
Walty tried to send one towards frame, but good job from behind by Dikwa. And now Sean Suber. Played every minute this season. Only he and Eric Dick have done that for Pittsburgh. Biasi flicks it forward towards Augie Williams, but he's cut off by Bacharach. They'll get Williams for a foul.
A little bit of a shove there from Augie Williams on the back of Hugo Bacharach, the Spaniard. It's frustrating times for Augie Williams. Just 3 goals. In fact, Robbie Mertz has got 4, and he's spent most of his time in midfield. So if you're the main striker and a midfielder has more goals than you have, that can sting a little bit. And that's why they're all desperate. The entire squad probably desperate to get goals for Augie Williams.
He is one of the more prolific goal scorers in USL Championship history. Scored for 6 different teams, and the only player with more goals since 2020. It's Cal Jennings.
Cal Jennings, wow. I think he's tied all time, is he not, with fourth with 79 goals, just 2 behind Cam Lancaster.
Exactly, up. He's one shy of 80. Lancaster has 81 in his career. Right now he's tied with Haji Berry with 79, fourth all time.
So when you've got a striker who is that prolific, and he's not too old, it's not like he's aged out, he's 27, then as a coach you've got to get him in the positions where he can hurt the opposition, which is in the box.
Big frame too, he's 6'3". This is a Pittsburgh team that's in the middle of a 7 out of 9 at home stretch in their schedule. This one trickles over to goalkeeper Eric Dick, who scoops it up. And I asked him, I said, look, you've got a few more left during the stretch at home. What does a successful homestand look like for you guys? And he said, look, we've got to shoot for 9 points, of course. We know Rhode Island is very capable. They've got as close to a full roster as they've had all year. You know, at home we'd like to get all 9, but he said, look, if we get 7 out of the 9, that's good for us. But he came away, while glad they got a result at least against Miami on Tuesday, he really feels like that was one where they should have come away with 3.
Against Miami.
Yeah.
And maybe they were lucky in the end to
No,
get
of course, that's what he was saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the performance wasn't up to what he would have liked. But you look at the schedule, you say Miami FC at home, Tuesday night, it's a midweek game. Should bode well for the Riverhounds, but Bonfilio, who's been all of a sudden one of the better scorers in this league, he's now in a 3-way tie for the Golden Boot out of nowhere, on fire. He scored for Miami FC, and it took that stoppage time goal from Charles All, the first of his career, at the death, as he rolls this forward for Walty. Walty tried to send it across, but it was off of J.J. Williams and over the end line for a corner.
I think Miami FC are probably a better side than a lot of teams give them credit for, and certainly Bob Lilly, as we see this move again. Nice little move down the left-hand side, Walty making that run from midfield. Miami FC will be a team I think will make the playoffs, and that's why in the end the point might not be a bad point for Pittsburgh, but they do need more from their home games. I think you're quite right there, and that's what Bob Lilly agrees with you on that.
That's grabbed out of the air by Jackson Lee, who's coming off that clean sheet 0-0 against Hartford, the last regular season match. He also started that Jägermeister Cup win for Rhode Island back on the 31st. Quizera trying to find Fuson, who goes down, but no foul. It's a goal. And expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Colosso Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Just saw Connor Smith there, just giving some more pointers to his team. Once again, they got into the box. They've done that well. They've created a little half chance, just unable to do much with it. Noah Fuson, but they do look sharp, Rhode Island, and you get the sense that Pittsburgh are going to have a real battle here today to get something out of this match. And you mentioned home games still to come. Orange County at home, then Charleston Battery, that's a tough one. Birmingham, so 3 more home games after that, after this match. And then you hit the road, so you do want to collect a whole bunch of points and get yourself up to 4th or 5th on the table. Just, you know, give yourself a bit of a cushion from 8th place, especially when you start going on the road.
Good ball by Walty to the outside. It's Biasi, left-footed cross, back post, chased down by Jacqueson. Quizera comes over to defend. And that is last off of Quizera, who doesn't like that decision. It'll be another corner kick for Pittsburgh.
Always these set pieces are so important for teams. You know, you get a chance to put the ball right in the mixer there. There's some big boys there, Idrak, Suba, Vactor, who can get on the end of a decent cross. Mind you, there's some huge players for Rhode Island at the back there as well.
Mabika 6'6", Yao 6'2", Bacharach 6'4". Here's Williams after the Cohen corner kick. Williams goes down, whistle stays quiet. Williams, as you can see, trying to figure out how he didn't draw a whistle there. Bob Lilly feels the same.
Let's have a look at it again, and the ball does seem to get stuck under the feet there. And I mean, is there a tackle from Albert Dickway? He does get the ball, but then it's a throw in for Rhode Island, so difficult to say. It's a bit of a collision, but good luck referee getting an earful from Bob Lilly.
Jacqueson battling there with Mabika, and Mabika wins that one. Quizera now trying to spring Fuson. Fuson watched by Idrak. Fuson across. Lays down for Albert Dikwa. Shapiro Thompson tries to win it back, but a bit of a shoulder grab on Charles All, and that draws a yellow, first of the night.
Wow, that seems quite harsh. I mean, I was surprised it was a foul. Maybe there's something we didn't see here. There's a bit of an arm on the shoulder. Not much.
Yeah, I'm surprised there was a card there.
Yeah, I mean, a foul may be, but if that's the standard, then referee Matt Thompson's got to stick to it, and that's fair enough. But it didn't seem to be that harsh an infringement.
Shapiro Thompson, who only played in 3 games last year before picking up a season-ending injury. Talked about how great it felt for him to score that goal in the Jägermeister Cup against Hartford.
Oh, what a strike it was as well. He hit it beautifully.
This is a good ball as well. Dikwa tries to get there. That's off the back.
When we were chatting to Connor Smith, he said that he was delighted for the boy that he scored, Amos Shapiro Thompson. He said because he remembers him as a kid. So he used to pick him up at 13 when he was part of the New England Revs Academy and take him to coaching, and he says, and he's now seen him grow up, and he says he epitomizes what it is to be resilient. He's battled through a lot of injuries, and he's really so happy for Shapiro Thompson that he got the goal against Hartford, and again, he didn't half connect that ball. It flew into the back of the net.
A 25-year-old Boston College alum. Was actually picked by the Revs as well in the MLS Super Draft in the 3rd round back in 2023. He's found a home here with Rhode Island. Fuson races on. Idrak finds a way to get it over for Perrin Barnes. Shapiro Thompson steps up and then sent away again, right back to Shapiro Thompson. Ibarra floats it in. Maxi Rodriguez, who's been quiet in the first 20+ minutes.
It's a very tight game in so many ways, and when we chatted to Bob Lilly, he said this is going to be more like a playoff game given how good the defenses are and how much both attacks have struggled. And you really get the sense that a draw is not good enough. I think it was 4 straight draws for Pittsburgh,
yep.
3 out of 4 for Rhode Island. It's why they're so close to this cutoff line for the playoffs. They've got to turn draws into wins. So both these sides need 3 points. I guess Pittsburgh even more so because they're the home side, but both sides need 3 points. That bounces you up the table so much more quickly than just getting a point per draw.
Bob Lilly said to us, look, this is not going to be a game that's loose and wide open. The big question will be, can anyone manufacture a goal? And one might just be enough to win it. Dikwa finds Ibarra, the former Riverhound. Ibarra, service comes in, headed away. Shapiro Thompson comes down to him. Baccarat. Quizera with Barnes hounding him, no pun intended, and it does take a deflection off of Pittsburgh, so it'll be the first corner of the matchup coming now for Rhode Island. And we talked about on the Pittsburgh corner a moment ago the size of Rhode Island defending set pieces. We'll see how it comes into play now when they've got a corner kick of their own.
Look at those big 3 center backs in white going in there. Yao, Mabika, Baccarat. I'm just wondering who's going to pick them up. You can see there's a height difference between each of the players marking them, and they seem to be in a little group as well. Maxi Rodriguez has decided to go in and see if he can add his heading ability to those big three.
Ibarra will take it. The in-swinger on its way. The header. They got to it, but it wasn't on target.
Not quite sure what's been given. They're all claiming something. I think Baccarat got his head on it.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, let's have a look at it again. He seemed to climb. I think that's what Pittsburgh is saying, is it came off a white head or a white shirt. Anyway, another chance for the big three to attack a high ball.
Ibarra will have a shot to play this in from the opposite side now. In front of the Hounds supporter section. Floating it in the box. Fuson has it. Outside one more time. Quizera tees it up. Never got all the way through. Perrin Barnes in the way of that. And Pittsburgh handles that very well.
There's a bit of a scramble, wasn't there? That's the problem with having so many big players, is you don't win the ball clearly sometimes. And that's all they want, is the ball to get knocked down. And Connor Smith was hoping that one of his players could pounce on the loose ball. Not to be. But I think for Pittsburgh, this is going to be an ongoing problem from set pieces. And for every team that plays Rhode Island, they'll be looking at the size of those big three centre-backs, thinking a set piece is going to be dangerous for us every time.
The USL on the CBS Sports Network kicks off August with the League One Battle of the South. Newcomer FC Naples take on South Georgia Tormenta FC on Wednesday, August 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. "25 minutes in. It has been a defensive stalemate to this point.
Just as Bob Liddy predicted.
Yes, sir.
Playoff game, super tight. Maybe one goal separates the two teams.
So when Bob Lilly says, can a team manufacture a goal? These are two of the best defensive teams in the league. What does manufacturing a goal look like against two teams that defend the way they do?
Well, to me, the easiest way is a set piece. It's clear manufacturing. That's a set piece, get it in, big guys on the end of it. The rest of it is more creativity out wide. Can wide players like Noah Fuson, whether that's sort of more creative than manufacturing, but can they get balls in? Can they service? Both the Williams, JJ on the one side and Augie on the other. But it's hard against a good defense, and that's what Connor Smith said to us. One thing you can be certain of against Pittsburgh, especially at high markers, they will be super organized by that man there, Bob Lilly. You will not be given much space, so you're going to have to work really hard to get what you do get.
Remember the run they finished last season on? Just one loss in the final 16 games. They had 9 wins, 6 draws, and 1 loss to close out the season last year. From distance again, second time that Pittsburgh has tried to score from deep, and both times Jackson Lee has been up to the task.
And both times it's been straight at him, so power behind it, yes, but hasn't really tested Jackson Lee yet. A yard either side, and the goalkeeper would have had some diving to do.
Are those types of shots on goal difficult to handle when maybe you're not expecting them from distance? Obviously, Lee was in good position, and it was right at him, but as a keeper, how do you kind of stay focused in that spot when maybe you're not really expecting an attempt from that deep out?
I think keepers normally are expecting anything from anywhere. It's when it gets a deflection or when somebody steps in front of your vision as the shot's being taken, that's when you can get into trouble. And someone takes a shot like Augie Williams and you're waiting to see where it goes, and a defender steps in front. That could just put you off for a split second. I'm not sure that's a foul from Augie Williams.
He's entitled to that space too.
Yeah, referee being fairly strict here today. You can see the look on Augie Williams' face of dismay, questioning dismay. That's the way to do it with referees. Don't shout at them and don't abuse them, but there's that blank look.
Maxi Rodriguez just picked up a yellow. Maxi scored in the Jägermeister Cup in the 2-2 draw against Hartford last time out, but it has been a long time since Maxi Rodriguez has scored in league play. As this goes all the way to Eric Dick. The last time Maxi Rodriguez scored in league play. It was the game-winning goal in stoppage time against North Carolina back on June 14th.
Wow.
It's been over a month and a half since the highly touted acquisition for Rhode Island has put one in the back of the net. Trying to go over the top for Augie Williams. Played out by Shapiro Thompson for a Pittsburgh throw.
We used to see him scoring regularly for Detroit. Maxi Rodriguez making runs from midfield and getting in the box. Did get the penalty against Hartford, but as you say, it's not from open play.
Yeah, he had last year 10 goals, 5 assists, was first team all USL Championship last year. And he has actually been one of the players who have stayed healthy for Rhode Island this year. This is 18th appearance. Comes in, Baccarat gets rid of it. Another try from long range, sitting around in the area, and Williams just put it wide. And now Jackson Lee, his left leg. Williams might have been offside as well. The flag was up, but Jackson Lee clutching the back of his left leg. I do wonder if maybe Augie Williams maybe got his spikes.
Yes, I think he did. Have a look here as this goes up. That's maybe for the, whether that's for the foul or offside, but that stretch there and the follow through on the legs. Can't blame Augie Williams for going for the ball. But the flag, I think, was up already.
That was definitely the spikes up from Williams. No intent, of course, but as you pointed out as well, he was offside. But it may take a fortuitous bounce like that for either team to score in this game. We're a half an hour in, and there's only been 2 shots on target, both from Pittsburgh, both from about 25 yards out.
Typical playoff match. It's one of those little moments that can separate two teams. They both had little half chances, possibilities. Just felt that Rhode Island looked the more classy of the two, if that's the right word, the more assured of the two going forward. They've created some good chances, but the thing about Pittsburgh, they're dogged. They get the ball into dangerous areas. They bounce on deflections and any opportunities. So they've had their little half chances as well.
So earlier, Maxi Rodriguez picked up a yellow, and weren't quite sure what happened because it didn't happen in the run of play. We'll get to it in a moment. Correction, it did happen in the run of play, but not in our viewpoint. But we do have footage of what happened, so we'll show that to you in a moment. Rodriguez picked up a yellow. He joins Amos Shapiro Thompson in the books. I guess it's one book, more of a card.
It's not good to have 2 players on yellow cards. If you're Rhode Island, you never know when either of those players gets a silly second yellow.
Oh no, J.J. Williams from behind is fouled, and he goes down in a heap of pain, and it will be a yellow here on Luke Biasi. So here's the yellow on Maxi Rodriguez from a few moments ago, stepping on Danny Griffin. And now here's the yellow we just saw.
Yellow card against Pittsburgh.
Again, it's
Number 13,
it's quite harsh. Yes, I mean, by the letter of the law, there's some contact on the ankle. But there's going to be a lot of yellows in this game if that's the cutoff line. But in fairness to the referee, and I think all players will say the same, long as he's consistent, then the players understand that he won't accept anything like that. So you have to be very, very careful with your tackles.
You know, I do wonder how much of that is reputational for Luke Biasi. Not that he's a dirty player per se, but he's top 2 in the league in yellow cards accumulated this year. That was his 8th.
It wasn't a bad stamp. It was just he's shaking his head. I think he thinks it was he was just trying to toe poke the ball away, made slight contact with J.J. Williams. He's probably not got booked for a lot worse tackles. But I think you could say the same of the other bookings, Maxi Rodriguez, Shapiro Thompson.
Here's Mark Ibarra, former Riverhound, with another set piece opportunity for Rhode Island. All sent in. Header sent across, never got towards goal, and it's cleared away. If you're Rhode Island, you just in that spot. Would love to see something reach the target. Griffin for Jacqueson. Perrin Barnes on the outside. Quizera monitoring him. Wachter moves it across. Now it's Walty. Slipped for a moment. Walty floats it towards goal. On a bounce down to Jackson Lee. This is Lee's 8th start tonight. Vegas, who is out with an injury, came into the season as the starter, was the first signing in club history going into last year, and of course was a pivotal part of Rhode Island's run to the final.
It's time to announce the finalists for the lighter drawing
But these
contest.
two keepers for Rhode Island, certainly incredibly capable. Stay proud and sporty with Riverhounds gear, whether you're hitting the game or going out. Show your team spirit with our exclusive merchandise. Find all your favorites at the merch booth or shop online at riverhounds.com. Let's go Hounds.
There's a fair sampling of the merch on the screen there. All different types of shirts, the white, the black, the striped.
It's a great kit.
It's a very recognizable kit, especially the one they're wearing now. That's their more regular outfit, the black and orange.
Keeping with the Pittsburgh theme with the Steelers, Pirates, Penguins. There's Bob Lilly, 414 wins as a head coach in his career, more than any active coach in any U.S. professional league, men or women's. He is 127, 63, and 73 as the head coach here in Pittsburgh. And just to further elaborate how excellent defensively the Hounds have been under his tutelage, in those 263 matches, they have conceded, on average, 0.91 goals per game. Less than a goal per game.
It's brilliant. And it's why most coaches in the USL, including Carno Smith, when you chat to him, they all say Bob Lilly's the master. He's the guy who sets a standard for defensive play, because that's year after year, different players, different teams, in good times and bad times, they have always been defensively tight, and you cannot do that without being a master of organizational ability at the back, of finding the right players to fit into the right spot. So I think you hear coach after coach paying tribute to Bob Lilly's defensive acumen.
I always wonder, you know, when clubs, when they bring in former Riverhounds who have played for Bob Lilly, I always wonder what the thought is when they come over from this system, so defensive-minded. A place like Rhode Island, they've signed 3 of Bob Lilly's former players, and certainly, when healthy, have kept up that trend with Rhode Island in being defensively sound.
I think you can see it with Albert Dick, where he was back challenging, defending around the edge of the box. And I think that is part of the defensive nature of Pittsburgh, is everyone defends.
Quizera and Dick leaps, goes down, was able to grab it.
It looks like there was a bit of a collision in midair with Dikwa. Good ball whipped in, by the way, nice and early. Yeah, it's a late tackle, Dikwa, on the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's got both hands on the ball, so effectively it should be a yellow card for a late tackle. Sometimes, because it's the goalkeeper, the assumption is that Dikwa had to go for it. It was a very good cross put in. One of those put in before all the defenders could get themselves set, and again, good goalkeeping. We spoke about Eric Dick and how controlling he is of the box, how he gets up, catches the ball, he's good in the air, good on the ground. Goalkeeper of the year last year, as you mentioned at the start of the show, and that's why he's a goalkeeper who I think could very easily move back up into MLS level, because he has all the qualities.
The 30-year-old, if he keeps this pace up, would it really surprise anybody if he's up for goalkeeper of the year again this season? I mean, you look at his numbers, he's tied for first in clean sheets. He's got a goals against average of .88. His save percentage is 72%, and he has played every minute this season.
Yeah, top class. Did have one appearance for Minnesota United. That's why I think he had a spell trying to get into the MLS. And maybe at 30, he might have another 5 or 6 good quality years left. And he's got the maturity. He might find himself back up at that level if he keeps on playing as well as he is. I didn't see a yellow card there for Dikwa, so it seems like he got away with that one.
Comes to Walty, who has room. Plays it wide. Biasi to his right. Biasi whips it in. Gets over the header from Danny Griffin. Make that Charles All is right at Jackson Lee. It's a great ball. Somehow bent it over the gigantic Mabika. And Griffin, make that All, was able to get ahead on it. And again, Jackson Lee in good position.
Yeah, decent header. Really nice little bit of play here. Biasi just floating that one in. Gets the header and it's got power. Same as the 2 shots from outside the box. Got the power, but straight at the goalkeeper. And they have asked questions, have Pittsburgh. Just not really tested Jackson Lee enough.
Given away. Williams trying to chase it down with Bacharach. Williams gives a nice forearm to the back of Bacharach. He wants a yellow to go to Augie Williams. And Matthew Thompson comes over and says, look, I've given you 1, I've given you 2. The next one, you're going in the book.
Yeah. He's saying it's shoulder to shoulder, which is legal. If it was shoulder to shoulder, let's see if it's shoulder into the back. Well,
it is shoulder into the back.
Yeah. It's so hard for the referee to decide exactly what is a shoulder to shoulder and what isn't.
It was a shoulder from Augie Williams, we'll put it that way. Whether it was to the back or to the other shoulder of Bacharach, we'll see. Walty's clearance was deflected by J.J. Williams, now flicked up into the air. Bacharach wins that header. Biasi now controls. This ball pressure from Rhode Island. Miss hit. Maxi Rodriguez then goes down late, courtesy of Danny Griffin, and Griffin will earn the yellow.
It's always dangerous when you go to ground with tackles if you don't get the ball. It just looks a lot worse sliding in there on Maxi Rodriguez. A little bit of words seem to be going back and forth between Maxi Rodriguez and I assume Danny Griffin. But again, if you ever look at it here, once you slide there and you don't get the ball and you get the ankle, that's pretty much going to be a yellow card every time.
Well, you know that after the last 2 matches in El Clamico, that the intensity and the emotions for Rhode Island are quite high. The extracurriculars at the end of the Hartford regular season game, the 0-0 draw. Anthony Siaha, the keeper for Hartford. And of course, the dramatic 2-2 game won by Hartford in a penalty shootout. But Rhode Island did end up winning their group in Jägermeister Cup play, so they will host a quarterfinal game on August 20th.
That's against Birmingham Legion. Should be a good match.
Birmingham under Mark Briggs. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, August 9th against Orange County SC for Dollar Beers presented by IC Light. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. Another big matchup tonight in the Eastern Conference. Of course, Lou City and North Carolina FC doing battle at Lynn Family Stadium, and if Louisville earns 3 points tonight, they will pull level with Charleston Battery heading into next weekend's showdown on the Golazo Network between Charleston and Lou City. Players' Shield battle, first place in the Eastern Conference battle, you name it. 2 best teams in the league.
2 best teams, I would say, by a fair amount as well. Fantastic teams, both of them, top-class managers. Both teams in the East. setting the sort of challenge for the West to try and match up to that level.
How about the team right behind them in the Eastern Conference, Loudoun United? They played last night on the road at FC Tulsa. It looked like they were going to get a result, a draw on the road. So the number take down Ryan Martin and Loudoun United, a 3-2 win for Tulsa. A tough result for Loudoun, who have kind of come falling back down to earth a little bit over the last month or so.
They certainly have, and in fact I think there was an 84th minute equalizer, so
yeah,
you're sitting, you know, after the 80th minute 2-1 up away at FC Tulsa, thinking if you're Loudoun that you've got 3 points in the bag, you end up leaving with nothing. And as you mentioned, they've had a few of those heartbreakers, but they're still a much improved side from a couple of seasons ago. I think they'll make the playoffs. I certainly hope so for Ryan Martin. They've got some quality players, but they might not finish in the top 4 like they were hoping. They might slip down and find themselves playing away from home in the playoffs.
Pittsburgh trying to get one before the half. You know, it's so interesting. We talk about how tight 3 to the bottom of the Eastern Conference is. It is not out of the realm of possibility that Rhode Island goes on a run and earns themselves a top 4 spot in the East.
Oh, absolutely. Given the quality of players they have.
Suber. Baccarat comes over to end that threat.
It's also possible that Hartford make the playoffs and Tampa Bay do, and they're the bottom 2 teams. So as Bob Lilly was saying, and I'm sure Connor Smith feels the same, that these points are so important now, because you can drop down very quickly and out of the playoffs completely over the next few weeks if you're not careful. And both teams desperate for 3 points here today.
2 minutes of stoppage time here in this first half. Expected goals, 0.4 for Rhode Island, 0.1 for Pittsburgh. Biasi steps in front of Shapiro Thompson and flicks that out. It's a throw to Rhode Island. Baccarat trying to feed it towards Fuson, sitting around in the area on a hop off the volley. Maxi Rodriguez couldn't put much on it, and Eric Dick is able to handle. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. If you're on that freight train in the background, you've also got a great seat for this one, although moving away from the stadium might be a little tough to follow along, but
you've got trains moving in the background, you've got boats moving. It's all happening there at Highmark.
Jet skis out there too. Rodriguez. Spring Dequa. Couldn't. Williams on it. Shapiro Thompson like a freight train himself. But his shot from distance never got anywhere close. And you can see some of the frustration there from J.J. Williams as the whistle for halftime blows from Matthew Thompson. So Gary, after 45 minutes and 2 of stoppage, just about what we expected from Rhode Island and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, 2 very good defensive sides, gave very little away. Dick controlling the crosses into the box, had 1 or 2 shots. Jackson Lee on the other side, all the shots were at him. They were quite comfortable. I'm hoping second half that they might open up the game a little bit. Certainly Rhode Island have the players who can do that. But yeah, as expected, it's a little bit like a playoff match. Very tight, no side giving anything away as yet.
So no score at the half, 0-0. Rhode Island trying to move above the cut line. Pittsburgh trying to remain unbeaten against Rhode Island in USL Championship play. Lots to come at the half for you here from Highmark Stadium. Stick with us.
The Build. What is it that drives us to follow our dreams, to build them from scratch, from the heart? For us, it's the same ideals of hard work, craftsmanship, and unity that define our great nation. It begins with trusting in yourself, and having a team behind you that believes any dream is possible, and that every project is a vision of what can be, of who you are, and the future that you continue to build. From our family to yours, 84 Lumber, where quality and pride come together, one dream at a time.
At AHN, good heart care starts before you're just not feeling right. Before you say, it'll go away on its own. Before it doesn't. Because before an emergency, there's time to stop heart problems with a simple preventative heart check. At AHN, we see you.
Times the cash scratch-off with top prizes of 100 grand.
Oh, it's on.
Just you wait till next time.
Rematch next week?
Let's play it by ear. Keep on scratching.
Welcome back to Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. 0-0 at the half between Pittsburgh and the defending Eastern Conference champions, Rhode Island. Josh Appel, Gary Bailey with you. Gary, through one half, not much going on. About what we expected. And speaking of things we expected, Pablo Lindsay, he's been through this Riverhounds Academy. He's a senior in high school at Fox Chapel High School, appeared in 3 games this season. Let's see how he made it through the Riverhounds Academy all the way to the first team with Bob Lilly.
One of the obvious ones in terms of giving him an opportunity at the pro level.
Number 70, Pablo Lindsay.
He had a lot of good foundation in his play.
Signed an academy deal last year in May. Third from the Riverhounds Academy to jump into the first team, 18 years old now.
My name is Pablo Lindsay. I play for the 2006-2007 Riverhounds ECNL team and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds first team. Kevin Kerr always pushed me to do my best in training, always being on top of me about just everything, and he always pushed me at the first team. I started training with the first team my freshman year, and that was a big eye-opener for me because I realized, like, wow, like this is what the professional level is like.
Yeah, it's always a big decision to give somebody their debut, especially an academy player. We felt that he had earned it. It was a reward for the work that he put in.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest...
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
Pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Beautiful downtown Pittsburgh. We're at Highmark Stadium tonight on the banks of the Three Rivers. 0-0 at the half between the Hounds and Rhode Island FC. Josh Appel, Gary Bailey with you as we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the USL Championship. One other game. And this weekend in week 22, big matchup at Lynn Family Stadium about to get underway. Lou City and North Carolina FC. El Paso and Vegas. Can El Paso get things going? Can Vegas, the new look Vegas, starting to figure things out? They're coming up at 9. Big matchup. How about San Antonio and Sacramento Republic? Sacramento's really turned it on. That's a huge one coming up at 9 o'clock. And then Phoenix hoping to bounce back from that loss on Wednesday at home against Birmingham Legion. That's a 10:30 kick on Golazo Network. For some other news and notes around you. We pause to remember our friend and colleague John Kochel, who passed away Thursday evening following a courageous 9-year battle with brain cancer. Despite countless surgeries and treatments, John embraced life every day with a passion and love that lit up every room he walked into. A valued member of the USL HQ staff since 2015, he will forever be remembered by his big smile, contagious laugh, and his deep love for his family. John is survived by his wife and his son. He was just 39 years old.
no better feeling than a cold one in my hand. That's why I'll be keeping Iron City in my plans. Oh, everywhere I roam, I'll be thinking about my home. Sitting pouring on the iron right before I go to rest. And when I'm laying in my bed, there's only one thing in my head. Just an ice cold can of Pittsburgh, PA's best.
We welcome you back to Highmark Stadium. Wow, that is the legendary dance from Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, you gotta love it. No score at the half, Pittsburgh and Rhode Island. I think, Gary, I've seen you with moves like that, too.
He must be going a long time back.
Let's take a look now at our first half highlights. Not much doing. Couple of chances for Pittsburgh. No doubt about it. For Rhode Island in the first half, just one shot on target on 6 attempts. Pittsburgh in possession, favored in possession, 57-43. But it's nice to have possession, but if you don't really do much with it, it doesn't mean all that much. And of course, credit goes to Rhode Island for defending well, same to Pittsburgh. I mean, there is just not a lot of breathing room given up by either one of these teams.
Yeah, it's been very tight. If you look at the expected goals, 0.11 for the home side, 0.58 for Rhode Island. So to the point that they've looked a little bit more dangerous around the box in the first half.
Pittsburgh went unbeaten in July. The last 7 matches they're unbeaten, 8 of 9 overall across all competitions, but they've got 4 draws in a row after 3 wins in a row, so they're just probably tired of the draws at this point. And then for Rhode Island, they're also coming off of a couple of draws against Hartford. They're trying to move above the cut line in the Eastern Conference and can do so with 3 points tonight. But they have never beaten or scored against the Riverhounds in regular season play. This is a team that, as we mentioned earlier, second fewest goals, 14 this year in championship play after they were 3rd in the league last year. And I think Beto Idrak, and you could probably tell.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah.
But for me there, that's a little bit dodgy from JJ Williams. He's looked for the player, he stepped into the player, hence the contact. He's claiming innocence, but the way he glances over his shoulder, I'm not so sure how innocent that is, but it's all part of the, the rough and tumble of football, soccer play.
He looks to be okay. Just underway in the second half. This Rhode Island side, although they have been able to get results with the draws, they are winless in their previous 4 regular season games and 7 out of 8 overall. But they are getting healthier. They're the defending Eastern Conference champions for a reason. On paper, they have plenty of talent. They have, of course, lost to Colorado Springs in the USL final last year. do some work to put themselves in a position to get back, not just to the final, but to the postseason period.
As we were saying beforehand, a win for Rhode Island puts them in a playoff spot. So for all the problems and trials and tribulations they've had this season, they can certainly put themselves in a decent position and build from there.
They've been excellent on the road this season. Their last win back on June 14th, 2-1 against North Carolina FC. Maxi Rodriguez scored the late goal in stoppage time.
As you said, the problem's the same for both sides. Too many draws.
Yep.
4 in a row for Pittsburgh, 3 out of 4 for Rhode Island. You've got to turn draws into wins, especially now at this stage of the season, because I wouldn't put it past Tampa Bay or Hartford to put a run together. And those are the teams that are sitting just behind Rhode Island. So it might get more difficult, not less difficult as you head towards the end of the season. So wins, 3 points. It's worth its weight in gold, and Connor Smith knows that. Bob Lilly knows that. And that's what makes this part of the season get more and more tense, because you can't afford, as good as a draw is here today for Rhode Island. Only thing I would say is they do have 5 of the next 6 games at home, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's not their home form hasn't been good, it's their away form that's been good. They're going to have to turn things around at that wonderful stadium of theirs and get their fans behind them and start winning some home games.
Yeah, they have just 1 win in 8 games at home this year. 1-3-4. Just a shocking number. There you see the road record, 3-5-1 in league play. So result and tests. On Tuesday night, Pittsburgh welcomed Miami FC into Highmark Stadium. It was 0-0 until the 83rd minute, when Bonfilio scored his 11th for Miami. And in stoppage time, it was Charles All, the first goal of his career, who gave Pittsburgh the 1-1 draw. All became the 4th player to score their first career goal for Pittsburgh this season, and the 3rd to do it in their first professional season.
He's a good company there, also with their first pro goal this season, Jorge Garcia. I think that was the one in the cup, Open Cup. He scored a cracker in the top corner. Better Edracht and Perrin Barnes. So
yeah, Edracht's goal was the game winner against NYCFC in the Open Cup as well at stoppage time.
It's amazing again that Bob Lilly brings these players through, and they learn their way, and they become better and better players until somebody comes and steals them from him.
Bob Lilly, one of the best. Always enjoyed talking to him as well. Jockeson, it's Williams! They've been trying to get him going. And Williams gets the Hounds on the board with the 80th goal in his storied career. 1-0 to the Hounds early in the second half.
Delighted for him. We've been talking about him throughout the first half. He's got to come good. He needs service, but doesn't he strike this so well? He's got big guys all around in there making it difficult, but he hits us from what, 23, 24 yards out at the near post. Did he catch Jackson Lee out, perhaps the goalkeeper, or was it a deflection? Because Jackson Lee hasn't even dived for it. He's just dropped down to his knee. But as I say, you don't win a raffle if you don't buy a ticket. And he's had a crack, and he's beaten the Aussie goalkeeper, and he's put the home side up. Happy days for Bob Lilly and company.
Again, number 4 on the season for Williams, number 80 in his career. And now he is in sole possession of 4th all-time in USL Championship history in goals, now 1 behind Cameron Lancaster for 3rd all-time in league history. For a moment, like Jockeson was going to be the one that takes that shot, and it was Williams who made no mistake. And I do wonder, Gary, if part of the plan coming in from Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh was to attempt shots from distance, because of their 4 that have gone on goal, 3 of them have been outside the box.
Yeah, those are straight at Jackson Lee. And as I said, question mark about the keeper, because he didn't dive for it, and it's from 20+ yards out. So from a goalkeeper's perspective, either he was unsighted or it took a deflection, because I can't believe for a second that he wouldn't have been able to have made an attempt and probably saved it.
Pittsburgh, so good when they get on the board first. 7 wins, 1 loss, no draws. And they'll try and protect this 1-0 lead here at home, which is something they've done all season long. Goal by Augie Williams, the 80th of his career.
Just have a look at the goalkeeper in his position. It's hit here. Is there a deflection at all? Because he hasn't dived, Jackson Lee. He's just dropped to his knees, which is surprising given that how good a goalkeeper he is.
Griffin tried to feed it through to Jockeson, and Rodriguez comes away with it for Rhode Island. Pittsburgh has gotten off to a fantastic start in this second half. Biasi had it played away from him by Shapiro Thompson, and out for a throw. Biasi to throw in. Longest tenured Pittsburgh Riverhound. Trying to find Griffin. Barra stepped in front of it, and it's out for another throw for Pittsburgh. And you gotta love that. Look, Biasi, a few high fives for the fans sitting pitch side. Putting some smiles on kids' faces.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. Headed away by Rhode Island.
You just wonder if this is another one of those league matches that they can't score, Rhode Island against Pittsburgh. It's been 3. Well, it's been 3.5 now that they've played in the league anyway, and just not been able to breach this Pittsburgh defense.
Trying to go long there. He's not going to be able to beat these Riverhounds. They're so disciplined in their structure. Jockeson. He will try one from deep, but it's blocked by Yao. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2TN, nation's leading Spanish-language sports network, for 2 upcoming matches. Monterey Bay FC face off against FC Tulsa Wednesday, August 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern, and Lexington SC battle Phoenix Rising FC on Saturday, August 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Just wondering now if Connor Smith's looking at his bench thinking, what changes can I make? I'll give it a few more minutes, I would think. But ultimately, he's got the likes of Clay Holstead, who's a good striker of a ball, but dynamic midfielder. He could bring him on. Danny Rivera, the former Hounds midfielder. Joe Brito. There's a bunch of options for that man there, Connor Smith. If he wanted to bolster the midfield more, maybe take out one of the strikers. He was hoping, I assume, that JJ Williams and Albert Dickwood would form a fantastic combination. He might be thinking, you know what, I'll leave one of them up front, bring in an extra midfielder and try and control the ball a bit more.
Tikwa, Fuson, Williams, been a bit quiet today. Squeaks through, but cleared by Bacharach. Suber chases it down.
Just thinking if Connor Smith makes changes and bolsters his midfield, of course, the response to that is probably to bring on Robbie Mertz and Bradley Sample, fresh legs in midfield. And in Robbie Mertz's case, one of their top goal scorers.
Bring some offensive punch as well. Williams, dispossessed by Quizera, flicked up into the air. Williams battling with Suber, and it's won by Pittsburgh.
Oh, good feet.
Beto Idrak, and then the switch. Jockeson Around Bacharach, Bertrand Jacquesson! Top shelf, 2-0, Riverhounds. And Jacquesson finally has his first in league play in 2025. Quality stuff.
What a finish from Bertrand Jacquesson. It's a real tight angle, and he thumps it. How he gets it into the net, I don't know, because the angle suggests he might want to try and cross it. Beats his man there, Bacharach, but at that near post, Jackson Lee shouldn't really be beaten. However, the power he's put behind that shot, absolutely brilliant from Jacquesson. 2 goals against Portland in the Cup, and now 1 here today. He puts his name out to the fans, and they will remember goals of that quality, that's for certain.
All starts here with number 1, the effort by Sean Suber, and then Beto Idrak. He wins it here.
Look at his feet.
Weaves past a couple, and then how about this ball?
Switches play. It's a lovely ball out wide. Fantastic feet for a centre-back, but allowed to bring it down. You've got to question Hugo Bacharach, the Spaniard, because he allows him to bring it down, and then he gets beaten by Jacquesson. But still, from that angle to get it past Jackson Lee, that's a fantastic strike.
It's hard enough to score against Pittsburgh. Even harder when it's a 2-goal deficit with a little over a half an hour to go. Rhode Island might have wanted a card there. Bob Lilly wanted no whistle.
Well, they were behind by 1 goal in the last match against Hartford, where Rhode Island came back, scored twice, ended up being a 2-2 draw. So they are capable of getting back in the match, but it's not happening for them. And I wonder if having 2 strikers up front is something that Connor Smith wanted to try, but he might want to change that up, bring off either JJ Williams or Albert Dikwa and add an extra midfield on and see if that can't give them better control of the game.
This is a big spot here. I mean, they can get one back off this set piece. 1 hour in. The 2 goals for Pittsburgh have come in a matter of 6 minutes. Comes in, the header, off the line and wide. That close for Rhode Island.
Good defending, nice little flick on there from, I think it was JJ Williams, and good defending at the back. Looked like it was going to sneak in. Eric Dick turned over and was worried initially until he saw defender, I think it was Perrin Barnes, cleared that ball out there. Let's have a look at it again. Ball knocked in. There's the flick on from JJ Williams. Great defending right on the touchline there.
Another chance with a corner. Ibarra, the former Riverhound. Missed everybody in white. Comes down to Quizera, who feeds it into the sea of bodies. But Rhode Island have to reset. Just feels like that's the kind of season it's been for Rhode Island. That chance by Williams, it's on the line. Thought it was going to go in. It's cleared away. Jacquesson on the other end. Plays it towards goal. Nearly 3-0. That was all who was making the run down the middle.
What a good ball from Jacquesson. He basically saying to Charles Alder, I'm going to put it in a great position for you, see if you can get there, which he does. He just can't get enough power to flick it over the goalkeeper, Jackson Lee. But nice positive play from Pittsburgh. When they get the ball wide, they're really good at just getting the ball in the box, getting players into positions that, well, they've been good in this match anyway at doing that. I'm not so sure they were good against Miami FC. I think Bob Lilly gave them a word or two, and in this match they really have tried, as you said. They've had shots from far out, and eventually one's hit the back of the net. They really are playing well today, are the Riverhounds at Highmark Stadium.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Some other score updates from around the championship. Tampa Bay Rowdies have taken a 2-1 lead at Indy 11. That match a little over an hour old. And then just 6 minutes in, Lou City got on the board. 1-0. They still lead over North Carolina. They're in the 17th minute. Quizera. His cross was blocked by Barnes. Mabika. All 6'6" of them got rid of it. And then Williams goes down. And the foul given. And a yellow as well. Guillaume Factor, who debuted at the end of April, signed in that month. We'll learn the yellow.
Lots of debate between the players, but it did seem like a late tackle. And there's been some rather fringe yellow cards, but that one seemed like a solid one. Have a look, the ball is played, and then it's a little bit dangerous, isn't it, come flying in like that. Doesn't make bad contact, but I think maybe the danger level is what gives the referee the perception that it's worth a yellow card.
So 2 goals tonight for Pittsburgh, Gary. Just the 6th time this year they have scored more than once in a game. This is game number 18.
It's bad news for Rhode Island side, who defensively have not been good this season. Well, sorry, they have been good. They've actually, sorry, let me take that back. They've got the 4th best defense. So that is even better. Now you mention it,
but now
they can get 2.
But they're in the hole now, 2-0 against another excellent defensive team. As Williams went for goal, but sent it high. And it is going to take some kind of tall task to level this match inside of, a half hour to go.
And maybe the credit is for Pittsburgh that the fact they have scored twice against a very good defense.
But here's the thing: we say that Pittsburgh has scored twice in a game. Now 6 times. They've only conceded twice 6 times this year in their 18 matches. 17 coming in tonight. Is there anything that Rhode Island can exploit to maybe try and get one back here, or has Pittsburgh just been as structurally sound as you would expect?
Well, as I was suggesting earlier, I think a change in midfield might help Rhode Island, that they get an extra body in there, and they have the likes of Clay Holstead they can bring on. That way you can control the ball, you can dominate the midfield. Yes, you have one less striker up front perhaps, or less wide player, whichever change Connor Smith wants to make, but you have to mix it up somewhere. And I think I'll be very surprised in the next 5 to 10 minutes Connor Smith doesn't make changes. He probably feels the players are good enough to get back in this game, and he's giving them the chance to do that. But if they haven't done it by the 70th minute, I would think that he's going to say, right, let me make some changes. Let me freshen it up, bring on a new face, someone who can do something different, and let's see what happens. And I think Clay Holstead again would be an ideal choice for that change.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr do an excellent job on USL All Access each and every single week. Dikwa. Ahead for Ibarra, back for Dikwa. Rodriguez now back to his left. Quizera working against Barnes. Quizera sends it towards Dick. And Eric Dick turns it aside. It's out for a corner. Gary, looked like a positive build up there for Rhode Island, and then kind of petered out before they got that last chance.
Yeah, there was that chance with a little bit earlier. Dikwa maybe could have got a shot. Ibarra. Eventually, they do get a decent shot. And a nice save from Eric Dick. Much better from Rhode Island in terms of forcing the goalkeeper, Eric Dick, to make a save. And let's see if they can keep that pressure on now from this corner piece with those 3 big centre-backs.
Second save of the night for Eric Dick. And after this corner, Pittsburgh can start upfield with it. So we thought. Bacharach will get booked. So now 2 on the back line for Rhode Island playing with a yellow. Maxi Rodriguez also has one. And then for Pittsburgh, it's Griffin, Biasi, and Factor. Idrak, who had the assist on the Jacqueson goal in the 57th minute. Williams, who scored the first goal, he committed a foul. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
If there was an elbow or a fist thrown there in knocking down BT Idrak, then there's going to be a red card, and I don't know what the referee or assistant referee saw there. He's probably listening to his assistant refs and getting information from them, and he's just busy weighing it all up. But a little bit of a flashpoint there on the edge of the pitch. It could be bad news for Rhode Island. Let's have a look at it again. There's a battle as to whose ball it is. Oh, that's an elbow. That's a red card.
It has to be.
That's an absolute red card.
Oh, my goodness.
In fact, that's a shocking red card. Again, the referee we get the chance to see it in slow motion. The referee doesn't. And he needs help from his assistant refs as to what they saw. But if they saw what we saw, then there should be no question whatsoever that JJ Williams parts the pitch, and he does. Well done, referee. Took his time, waited for advice from others, but I don't think there's any argument. The thing was, JJ Williams was sure it was his throw, but maybe it wasn't, so you can't go around and hit someone in case that isn't your throw, and he's trying to argue the point, but I don't think there's any debate whatsoever. I'm afraid JJ Williams, that's a nasty, really nasty elbow coming up there.
Yeah, there's no question about it. There was a full windup as well, and now he's also going to miss Wednesday's match against Detroit at home. So a nightmare tonight for Rhode Island in the second half. Becomes even worse. They lose JJ Williams, and he walks off the pitch after a deserved red card. I mean, there's really just no excuse for that.
No, there isn't, but it's all part of the frustration. You're 2-0 down. Connor Smith saying that we rely on JJ Williams. He's a key player for us, and as Beto Idrak gets some treatment there and plugs up what probably is a bleeding nose. But they rely so much, and we're hoping for so much from JJ Williams. He's probably frustrated that the game hasn't gone the way he wanted. And he'll probably feel embarrassed to have actually thrown that elbow. It's a nasty one. It's not just a push or a shove. It's a real swing of the elbow, and it's not. I don't think it's like his personality, but in the moment, just got the better of him. And now, as you say, it's 2 goals and a player down. That's going to be a real mountain to climb here at Highmark Stadium.
Beto Idrak now gets to look like a tough guy with the bandage in the nose. And he has to switch kits, and he will now wear number 51 for the rest of the night. Things have unraveled here pretty quickly in the last 20 minutes for Rhode Island. Goals by Augie Williams, the 80th of his career, moving into sole possession of 4th place all time. Made it 1-0 in the 51st minute, and then 6 minutes later, Bertrand Jacquesson picked up his first in league play this year on the assist from Beto Idrak. I mean, he has had pretty much everything go his way tonight.
Eventful evening.
Yeah, he took one to the nether regions earlier.
Yes,
he had a wonderful assist on the second goal, and now he's got a bloody nose.
And got a player sent off on the opposition side. So, yeah, he has been very impactful in this match, and just worried for Rhode Island. We mentioned how important 3 points is, and they're below that playoff line, but they've got to find a way of winning games and not letting the frustration get to them, because as the season starts to come towards a close, and yes, we still have, double-figure matches left, but that's going to eke away very quickly. They need to find a way to get results.
Idrak now wearing number 51 instead of his usual 16. That one goes through Charles All, and then Maxi Rodriguez sends one deep. Rhode Island now down 2-0, playing with 10 men. And Gary, the story with them all year is just they have not been able to get on the same page. They're talented players up top, just have not been able to get things to mesh. And it feels like we just saw more of that tonight. The chemistry is just not there with this team, and it's really hard to explain.
They had the slightly better chances first half. They look neat at times. They look strong. They look dangerous from set pieces with those three big centre-backs. You go at half-time thinking Rhode Island are looking good, but it's just fallen apart for them second half, and some poor defending. Got to mention that, certainly on the second goal, big Hugo Bacharach. Connor Smith will be, he'll be concerned now. Is he going to make these changes and bring some fresh legs into midfield? We'll wait and see.
2 goals ties a season high that Rhode Island have conceded in a match this year. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. You can download it now. It's back-to-back games that, if you count the Jägermeister Cup, that Rhode Island have conceded 2 goals. Again, this is a team that is heading in it tonight 6th in the league and fewest goals conceded. Adrock. This nightmare of a season after making it to the final last year is continuing, unfortunately, for Connor Smith and Rhode Island. Wide now. The header from All just missed.
And he managed to score from a similar position against Miami midweek, near post flick on. It's a lovely run. Does well to get on the end of that cross. This doesn't quite angle it in, but again, credit Pittsburgh. They're pushing forward at 2-0 up. They're not sitting on this lead now. Here are these changes we thought might come at some stage.
Feels like a little bit too late for that now.
By the way, Pittsburgh just 1 point behind 3rd spot if this result holds at 26 points. North Carolina losing to Lou City 27, Loudoun 27. Who knows, it could be a lofty position with a couple of home games still to come in the next few weeks for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
North Carolina, by the way, has leveled Lou City 1-1. They're a little over a half hour into that match. Still 2-1 Tampa Bay over Indy 11. They're right about on pace with us as far as timing of the match. They're in the 75th minute as well. And you can see 4 substitutions coming on for Rhode Island here. Bacharach, Fuson, both come off. Shapiro Thompson off as well. Wholesale changes here for Rhode Island.
Well, he's certainly giving them a chance and saying, right, guys, I'm not going to make 1 change, 2 changes. I'm making 4. Go out there and turn this game upside down for me. Easier said than done.
Especially down a man.
Yep.
Red card by J.J. Williams for throwing an elbow at Beto Idrak. Stay proud and sporty with Riverhounds gear, whether you're hitting the game or going out. Show your team spirit with our exclusive merchandise. Find all your favorites at the merch booth or shop online at riverhounds.com. Let's go, Hounds. A little under 15 minutes to go. All Pittsburgh in this second half against the defending Eastern Conference champions, who again have yet to score in league play against Pittsburgh. This is the 5th meeting in 2 seasons across all competitions between these 2 clubs. And Rhode Island have only scored 1 time, and it was in the Jaeger Cup on May 31st in a 1-0 win. Outside of that, it has been all Pittsburgh in this series, and Pittsburgh now the most frequent opponent 5 times for Rhode Island in their short history. I felt maybe after the emotional couple of games against Hartford and El Clamico for Rhode Island. Maybe they'd come in here with a bit of energy, moving on after a good performance in Jägermeister Cup play, but that has been pretty much the only positive for them in 2025 to this point. Just getting out of the group stage and into the knockout round of Jaeger Cup action. They are now in danger of dropping their 9th game in league play. Still haven't won since June 14th.
They've got a whole bunch of home matches coming up, and they've got to turn it around. I'm sure those fans at Rhode Island will go and support them, but Detroit home, Detroit is struggling. They've got to get points there. Loudoun have also been in a terrible slump. You mentioned it earlier. And then Birmingham at home in the Jaeger Cup, a quarter-final. So 3 massive home games, because if they don't start climbing the table, they've got Tampa Bay now joins them level on 17 points if Tampa Bay win and this result holds against Rhode Island. So they're joint second bottom, and Hartford are just a point behind. So there's the positive thing of if they win a few games, they'll fly up the table. There's also the negative here.
This Pittsburgh team will be even more dangerous than they already are. Look, if I'm a Charleston, if I'm a Lou City, if I'm really anybody in the Eastern Conference, this is like the last team that I want to face in the postseason.
Yeah, certainly at Highmark Stadium, you don't want to. And they could very well, with another win, they could be in 3rd position.
No doubt.
And they've got a couple of those home games coming up. And I guess there's a subtle sort of positive for Bob Lilly is you come up against your former players. And of course, he said he's going to give them a big hug afterwards and chat to Albert Dikwa, Mark Ibarra, Danny Rivera, because he was very close to them all. But there's a little sense of, hey, you guys left because you thought the grass was greener, and here we are still winning at Highmark. So, you know, we're all human. We all have a little bit of an ego that loves a good result now and again.
Quizera goes into the middle, and decent opportunity for Brito, but he could not find the target.
Coming out, number 12, Charles All.
So Robbie Mertz will come on for his 157th career appearance, tying the Hall of Famer Gary DePalma for 5th most in Riverhounds history. He replaces Charles All. Bertrand Jacqueson also exits the match. He scored the insurance goal in the 57th minute. Bradley Sample also enters along with Junior Etu, and he replaces minutes to go.
And these are all good midfield players who know how to shut down a match, and their job won't be necessarily to score. They'd love to set up Augie Williams again if they could. It'll just be to control the ball, control the game, see it out, fresh legs, fresh minds, with a very straightforward job to do, see it in with a clean sheet.
Pittsburgh tied for 2nd in the league with 7 clean sheets. And there will be a yellow issued here. Augie Williams picked up that yellow. Rhode Island playing down a man since the 69th minute after J.J. Williams delivered an elbow to Beto Idrak. Pittsburgh now a little less than 10 minutes away.
There was a yellow card against the
moving over 500 on the season. Plenty of yellows to go around tonight.
There is. There's 7, isn't there? And 1 red, which is a pity because it sort of spoils it for Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Put them really behind the 8 ball. They were 2-0 down already. And I don't think that's sort of J.J. Williams' character. Just a little bit of frustration, a little bit of pushing and pulling for the ball with Beto Idrak, and then he lost control for a moment.
Halstead, most part.
I think the only positive Rhode Island can take out of this is they can score 2 goals, because even a 2-1 loss is still a bad day at the office. They need 2 late goals, and then maybe they'll feel that they got something out of it, because so far it hasn't been impressive enough for a team that is so stacked with talent.
How about this? 2 goals in the second half for Pittsburgh, 6 minutes apart, the 51st and 57th minute. But touches in the opposition box in the second half, 4 for Pittsburgh, and they have 2 goals.
That's not bad, is it, in terms of stats?
No, and you know, thinking about it now, you wonder if the size, we talked earlier, maybe part of the plan coming in for Pittsburgh was to try and find some shooting lanes from outside and get them towards goal. I wonder how much the size advantage for Rhode Island on their back line maybe contributed to that plan coming in.
Difficult to say, and both those goals I have question marks with the goalkeeper Jackson Lee. The first one he didn't dive, so I'm assuming it was deflected or he was unsighted. The second was from the tightest of angles, and as you say, they only got into the box 4 times and scored twice. So I don't think Connor Smith will be happy defensively with his team. I don't think he'll be happy offensively either, because they, up until this moment, haven't created much.
No, this will be one that
it'll hurt.
Yeah, I would not want to be in the next film session with Connor Smith. But this is part of the nightmare of coming into Highmark Stadium. I mean, it is one of the most difficult places to play in all of USL Championship. Pittsburgh have only lost once here this season. And again, last year, they had only 1 loss in their final 16 matches. Final substitution for with Rhode Island, first out of a local Rhode Island college or universities. One of 9 siblings.
9? Wow. Can nearly play 2 5-a-sides if you're one of your parents to join in.
Perrin Barnes, he's had a strong match. He steps in front of that. Sends it towards Williams. Good touch there from Augie. Brings it towards the corner. Mabika pressuring him there, and that is just an excellent effort from Williams, who battles and battles and battles, and he is called for a foul.
Now you're talking about a tough spell for Rhode Island, but you just look at their last sort of 9 or 10 games. There's been a series of draws, lost at Indy 11, drew at home, held at home by Birmingham, held at home by Hartford twice. They did get a win against Portland Hearts of Pine, but that was in the Cup. Got beat by Sacramento 2-0 at home. Possibly the only decent result out of the last 10 is a 2-1 home win over North Carolina.
And that was back on June 14th.
June 14th, quite right. They lost to Lou City before that. They lost at home to Miami FC. So it's not a one-off. There's a systematic problem here that Connor Smith is going to have to solve.
Gary, they're about to move to 1 win, 6 losses, 2 draws in their last 9 games. They've been outscored, including tonight, 11-4.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you spin it, the stats don't look good, do they? And they will know that, having had the fantastic season they had last year with a similar group of players.
There's just too much talent here to have these type of results.
That must be very frustrating for Connor Smith, because he'll be thinking exactly the same. What do I have to do? And the job sort of falls to him to come up with this solution. And it's going to be something about making their home ground rather, a fortress. And they're three home matches to come. This is where their season's got to turn, at home to Detroit and Loudon, who are both struggling, and Birmingham in the quarterfinals of the Jaeger Cup.
Well, for Pittsburgh, they'll be feeling really good about themselves heading into their next home game, which is on Saturday, August 9th against Orange County for Dollar Beers, presented by IC Light. You can get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. The way Danny Stone and Orange County are playing, they just put up 4 in the midweek against Phoenix. Coming here to Highmark for a rare East versus West battle with Pittsburgh in their current form. It's going to be a heck of a game between 2 really good teams, 2 really good coaches.
Yeah, Danny Stone's done a fantastic job there at Orange County, and they've jumped up the table there in the West. A lot of quality in that side as well. In fact, if we think the East is tight, I think the West is actually even tighter. From bottom until about second spot, there's only probably 6 or 7 points.
So Las Vegas is bottom of the table in the West, as Augie Williams will come off. 80th career goal tonight. And Brigham Larson will replace him, but the USL Championship legend, Augie Williams, an excellent performance from him tonight. You know, they wanted to get him going, and they have done so. And look at that interaction there between Bob Lilly and Augie Williams, showing his appreciation for his striker. But on the Western Conference, Las Vegas in 12th place, 18 points. Third place, New Mexico, have 25.
It's a 7-point difference from top into second.
Chance from distance for Griffin, handled by Jackson Lee. Take it a step further, 9 points behind second place San Antonio, 27 points for San Antonio FC, and Vegas at 18. But then you look at that big jumble: Lexington at 19, Oakland at 20, Colorado Springs at 21, and then Monterey Bay is clinging to that final playoff spot with 22 points. El Paso, who had such a fantastic start to the season, they're down in 7th place with 23 points. But I mean, there is going to be a lot of moving and shaking in the Western Conference, just like there will be in the East. Orange County, they have gone 3-1-1 in their last 5, and they're up to 5th place in the West coming into Pittsburgh next week.
I would challenge anyone to find tighter leagues anywhere in the world in the USL East and West, because generally you get a few teams who struggle and in any league, but basically the teams who are bottom of the USL East and West at the moment could very well all be in the playoffs in a few weeks' time.
No doubt about it.
And certainly in the East, Tampa Bay, who are winning tonight so far, and Hartford, I still think they have a great chance of making the playoffs. And they're the bottom 2 teams.
So Gary, I'm going to put you on the spot here. A lot of teams jumbled together, but 2 teams that have separated themselves from everybody else: Charleston Battery, Lou City. Charleston right now atop the East with 41 points. Lou City, if the 1-1 score with North Carolina holds, they'll remain 2 points back of Lou City. But we could be entering a scenario next week when those 2 clubs go to battle in Louisville at Lynn Family Stadium, where they are tied for the Players' Shield lead. Who you got, Charleston or Lou City next week?
Well, if Lou City are at home, then I'd have to go for them on their home pitch. Oh, what a save!
Jackson Lee making sure this stays 2-0. Danny Griffin probably unsure how he didn't score his 4th of the year. It was an excellent ball across.
It's a fabulous save, isn't it?
Yeah, and Lee with a better save. I mean, Jackson Lee has split a lot of times this year with Vegas, has gotten the majority of action with Vegas' injury, but you put Jackson Lee on any other team, for the most part, he's probably the starter. Remember, to open the season, Charleston hosted Louisville at home, and it was Lou City who stole the 2-1 win. Adrian Perez, the game-winning goal on one that I bet you Luis Zamudio will be thinking about a lot in the lead-up to next week's game. Mertz across, back post. Put away by Mabika. We're in our 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Referee just bringing it back for a foul in the beginning of that move. But again, credit to Pittsburgh. They're 2-0 up. They could just be defending, and they're not. Going back to that save from Jackson Lee. Danny Griffin's hit that from all of 3-4 yards out, and he's tipped it over the crossbar. Brilliant save.
He is a quality keeper.
But really, it should be Rhode Island who are forcing Eric Dick into saves. They're 2-0 down. They should be throwing the kitchen sink, as they say.
Clay Holstad will put it in play. A little over 2 minutes left in this one. Pittsburgh will move their unbeaten streak to 8 and break that stretch of draws.
4 in a row. They'll be.
If Lou City can beat North Carolina, they're still tied 1-1. Pittsburgh would be level with North Carolina for 4th place. And I believe Pittsburgh would have the tiebreak.
It's a league where week to week things can change so rapidly. But right now, looking great for the Hounds and looking tough for Rhode Island. I hope for Rhode Island fans it all turns around with a couple of good wins at home and they work their way up the table, because they need to keep an eye behind them. Tampa Bay and Hartford are coming on strong.
Tampa Bay, they're in stoppage time right now on the road at Indy. What a win this would be for Dom Casciato, the new head coach coming over from Union Omaha. If they can finish that one off, as you pointed out, they will now just be 2 points back of 8th place. I mean, there is still a lot to be decided in both conferences as Mertz off the giveaway. Not giving up yet. That was former Hound Donnie Rovera, his first season with Rhode Island after a long time, 6 seasons here with the Riverhounds. Won the 2023 Players Shield here in Pittsburgh. The turf is not greener tonight for him. Can't say the grass because they play on the turf.
Danny Rivera there at right back, just a little bit slow to get on the end of that ball. And anyway, they've been put out their misery, Rhode Island.
Final whistle blows, courtesy of Matthew Thompson, and it's another clean sheet for Pittsburgh. 8th of the season as a team, 8th on the season for Eric Dick. He is now #1 in USL Championship in clean sheets. A textbook Bob Lilly performance for the Riverhounds at home here at Highmark Stadium.
Yeah, brilliant from Pittsburgh. Absolutely solid. They're right up there in those sort of top 3, 4, 5 places, and they can even go high with a couple of home matches. For Rhode Island, they've got to sort this out. They're such a talented squad of players, but they're on a really bad run. They've got some important home matches, so Rhode Island fans, get on down and support them and see if you can help Connor Smith and company turn the corner and get back up the table.
You want to talk about building a fortress at home? Fort Highmark, you saw it on the flag, another home win for Pittsburgh. Their 6th, a 2-0 win. Augie Williams, 80th of his career. Bertan Jacquesin, 1st in league play. And the Hounds with another clean sheet. Back with more after this. Back at Highmark Stadium, 2-0. Verdigua shaking hands with Rhode Island supporters and probably some of his former supporters here with the Hounds as well. Tough loss tonight for Rhode Island, but a big win for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh. 2-0 is the final. Tonight's man of the match is presented by
Save, though.
Absolutely, by Jackson Lee.
What a save. It's just a pity it doesn't count for anything. Danny Griffin's annoyed he didn't score.
Wednesday, they face Detroit. Pittsburgh at home against Orange County next week. That'll do it for us here from Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. All Hounds tonight. 2-0 is the final over Rhode Island. Augie Williams, the 80th goal of his career, who's in the sole possession of 4th place all-time. Bertrand Jacquesin, first in league play as well. And they're going home happy from Fort Highmark tonight. Doing a little dance as well. For Gary Bailey and our entire crew, this is Josh Appel saying so long, and we'll talk to you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.